This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
It's Oh Behave with Arden Moore, the show that teaches you how to have harmony in the household with your pets. Join Arden as she travels coast to coast to help millions better understand why cats and dogs do what they do. Get the latest scoop on famous faces, their perfectly pampered pets, and who's walking who in Rin Tin Tinseltown. From famous pet experts and best-selling authors to television and movie stars, you'll get the latest buzz from wagging tongues and tails. Garner great pet tips and have a doggone fur-flying fun time. So get ready for the pause and applause as we unleash your Oh Behave host, America's pet edutainer, Arden Moore.
Welcome to the Oh Behave Show on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Arden Moore. When I mention the very famous last name of our special guest today, you will immediately recognize that she comes from a pedigreed parents who succeed in the fields of TV news, movies, and politics. But she has gained respect and admiration in her own right as an animal activist and best-selling author. She's a can-do champion for the four-legged underdogs at animal shelters and on the streets who are looking for forever homes. It's my extreme pleasure to welcome to our show the author of the new children's book called Maverick and Me. Please join me in giving pause and applause to the very talented Katherine Schwarzenegger. Hey, thanks for being on our show today, Katherine.
Thank you for having me.
All right, I love your book, and I even read it. See, no excuses, right?
Thank you so much.
And we do want to give a shout out to your illustrator, Phyllis Harris, too. So it's a delightful book. It came out early in September, and I'm hoping that this will set a new generation of pet lovers to recognize the importance of adopt, don't shop, correct?
Yes, I wrote the book because I wanted, to teach kids all about animal rescue and dog rescue at a really young age, and it was such a rewarding experience for me to be able to foster and then eventually rescue my dog Maverick. So I saw how kids reacted to meeting him and wanting to be able to learn more, so I wanted to kind of do that with this book.
Well, you're doing a stellar job, and we're going to find out more about the mystery, who the heck Maverick is, right after we pay for this show by taking this quick commercial break. So you all know the drill. Sit and stay. We'll be right back.
Time for a pause. 4 furry ones, actually. Sit and stay. Oh Behave will be right back.
It's DesignerPetSweaters.com. Hand-knitted designer sweaters for your precious pup or cool cat. Beautiful couture patterns for your pets, including custom-knitted formal wear, casual wear, yachting, and even sports-themed. Many designer pet sweaters include feathered tammy hats, top hats, and a lot of sparkle. Each sweater includes leg loops, front paw sleeves, and leash opening. Visit DesignerPetSweaters.com to order your 4-legged fashions today. Your pets will stay warm for the winter and be runway ready. Large or small, we fit them all. DesignerPetSweaters.com.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com. Oh Behave is back with more tail-wagging ways to achieve harmony in the household with your pets. Now, back to your fetching host, America's pet edutainer, Arden Moore.
Welcome back to the Oh Behave Show on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Arden Moore. I'm delighted we have Katherine Schwarzenegger in the house, and she is the author of her 3rd book, this time a children's book, and it's called Maverick and Me. And the title is very fitting. I'm hoping, Katherine, you can explain what the 411 is behind Maverick.
Well, Maverick is my rescue dog that I decided to adopt a couple years ago. He's 3.5 years old now, and I got him when he was 2 weeks old. I had just kind of finished fostering several puppies for a local rescue here in Los Angeles, and had what they call a foster failure because I decided to keep my dog Maverick because I fell in love with him and just grew so close to him in the process of having him and getting him healthy. So I decided to officially rescue him, and just to see how kids, reacted to him was something that really caused me to want to write the book and teach kids about animal rescue.
And, you talk about foster failure, and I hope we could all say it's a foster success, because isn't the ultimate goal to have a loving home, and it just happened to be you?
Exactly. I mean, I don't like the term foster failure.
I don't either.
But it is what they call it.
Yeah. We
I
can change that, Catherine. You and me, we can change that. You know that. And I call shelter alums. I have a dog and a cat that are teaching pet first aid with me. They're called Pet Safety Cat Casey and Orange Tabby and Pet Safety Dog Kona, who's a terrier mix. And we teach kids in classes all over the country, and we call them shelter alums. And the kids are like, yeah.
Aww.
And so maybe we can start a new trend for this new generation. You could lead the way.
Love to do it. Sure, I'd love to.
But 2.5 weeks old, this poor little guy, he was in some health issues too. So how was your doctor skills on little Maverick when he first came to you?
Yeah, well, he was 2 weeks old when I got him, and the woman had asked me to take him because he needed to be with somebody who knew how to feed a puppy through a syringe and just be able to be attentive and take care of a dog at such a young age. So I was given him, and it was just such a fun thing to be able to, of course, feed a puppy through and just have them there at such a young age. But he got really sick after the first week because he got parvo, which for most people who don't know what parvo is, it's a really bad situation for puppies, and they get really sick. And they told me to put Maverick down because he was so young and that he probably wouldn't make it, which I, of course, did not do. So I decided to, do the treatment, and he survived. And I wanted to name him Maverick just because I thought it was such a strong name and symbolic of his strength through his treatment.
And obviously at that age, too, his little antibodies are still developing. He's getting his puppy shots. And so you did a miracle on Maverick, and I do applaud you for that. And I'm just curious because I love his marbled look or brindled look. Or have you ever figured out, is he a canine cocktail? What kind of dog is Maverick? How much does he weigh now?
He weighs probably around 26 pounds now. And of course, when I first got him, I did try to do one of those DNA tests on him to figure out what he was, and it was inconclusive. So I really don't know what he is, but I love just knowing that he's a wonderful little California mutt.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I had a little dog that surfed, and we did the DNA, and they said she was like Bichon Terrier and a dash of Basset Hound. I'm like, where did that come from? So, yeah, it's kind of fun, those DNA tests. You never know what really you get. The bottom line, you got a great dog, didn't you?
Yes, I got an incredible dog, and I feel really lucky.
Now, he is what, almost 2 or 3 now?
He's 3.5 years old.
Okay, so you also experience the situation a lot of folks do as dogs get into young adulthood. I'm actually a pet behaviorist, and you did the right thing. You turned for some professional help. You went to Tamar Geller. She's been on our show. She's very good. She knows what she's doing. So any tips for people how to work through an issue? Because it sounds like you did well with Tamar.
Yeah, I mean, Tamar is an incredible woman, and she's an incredible gift to all dogs. And just to be able to work with her, and also she just taught me so much that was different about what I had learned growing up about dogs. You kind of, or at least for me, learned that, to treat all dogs the same, and that there's a whole, you just kind of teach dogs to sit and to stay, and the traditional lessons you teach dogs. And the way she kind of approached it was that each dog has different needs and different fears and different strengths, and to be able to work with that and also understand your dog and your dog's needs was really important. So she taught me a lot about that, and being able to just overall understand my dog Maverick and work with him, and is such an incredible gift, and I have nothing but amazing things to say about it.
And she does the loved dog method. That's, listeners, if you're checking out someone, she's amazing. I think what she teaches us all is to look into the emotional aspect of the dog. They're not little drill sergeants. You don't want to just sit, stay. So it sounds like with you, she got you even a closer connection with Maverick. And that, to me, is setting you both up for success.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a different way of thinking about teaching or understanding your pet that I had never been taught before. So it was such a great experience. And I think that, whenever I tell anybody when they get a dog, just to be able to learn that dogs are not pets that you have and that you just kind of tell them what to do and don't pay attention to them, kind of a thing, that they really require a huge amount of love and care, but also of emotional understanding, which, we as human beings require as well. So treating a dog just as you would a child. So it's given me when I worked with Tamar, she was like, this is going to be really good for when you decide to have kids, because be able to get ahead on learning about all of this. So I hope that people have a similar experience, and she's great. I highly recommend her to anybody.
So you picked this book. The character that finds Maverick, we're not spoiling the plot line here, listeners, is a little girl named Scarlett. Is there any special significance to why you picked that name for the character?
No, I kind of was just going around different names, and I liked the name Scarlett a lot for some reason, and I didn't want to name her after me because obviously I got Maverick when I was older, so this wasn't a completely accurate story of when I got Maverick, but just the overall story and theme of Maverick being found under a freeway and being put in a situation where he was adoptable and available to find his forever home, and to see how kids reacted to meeting my dog Maverick in real life and wanting that to translate into the book was something that was really important to me.
Now, this is your third book. I know you've written a book called Rock What You've Got, Secrets to Loving Your Inner and Outer Beauty, from someone who's been there and back. I love that title. And then you also have a college book, I Just Graduated, Now What? So what's the trick, or what was the challenge to go to a younger audience and do a children's book where every word counts?
Yeah, every word definitely counts, because you obviously having a child read your book is very different than an adult. It was really fun for me, honestly. It was very different than my first two books. And just to be able to get in the mindset of a child and to think about the books that you were read when you were younger and at story time or at bedtime was a really fun process for me to kind of recap on, and to be able to write this book to hopefully have it be a book that children respond well to, but also learn from, was something that was, again, really important to me. And to do that the way that I did, I think was a great process, and hopefully kids enjoy it.
Well, the kid and me enjoyed it. And we're going to take a quick commercial break and wrap up this show featuring Katherine Schwarzenegger with her new book called Maverick and Me. We'll be right back.
Time for a walk on the red carpet, of course. All Behave will be back in a flash, right after these messages.
Molly, here's your dinner. Zeus, that's not your food.
Don't let that happen to your precious cat. Elevate your cat's eating experience with the Cat Tree Tray. The Cat Tree Tray keeps your cat's food off the floor and conveniently located on the cat tree. It's the perfect way to eat. It's a beautiful wrought iron tray that easily attaches to your cat tree and keeps dogs and other critters out of your cat's dish. A must for multi-pet households. There's a 6-inch tray for large bowls and a 4-inch tray for smaller bowls. Purchase your Cat Tree Tray today. Go right now to cattreetray.com. That's cattreetray.com. CATTREETRAY.com.
Let's talk pets
Let's talk pets
on Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Hi, I'm Tamar Geller, life coach for Dog and the People, and I invite you to listen to Arden Moore on Ho Behave Show on Pet Life Radio.
I'm delighted. If I had a tail, I'd be wagging it right now, but, you know.
I'm wagging mine.
We're back from the lot. Just checked the paper and we had a record showing at the box. The letterbox, that is. Now back to Oh Behave. Here's Arden.
Welcome back to the O Behave Show on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Arden Moore, and we have Katherine Schwarzenegger in the house, and I can even spell your last name. See, everybody kind of messes up at the end, don't they? They trip up, don't they?
Yeah, everyone botches my last name, so I appreciate you being able to spell it.
All right. Hey, speaking of that, you've got to have some gifts that you inherited. You have a nice gene pool with Maria Shriver and Arnold Schwarzenegger. So in doing this book and being a pet lover, what are something, let's go with your mom first, that has instilled in you? What did she pass on to you?
Well, both my parents have passed on incredible gifts to me, and just to have them as parents is obviously a huge blessing. I learned so much from both of them. I would say that my mom's obviously written a couple of children's books, so I was able to do a lot of this process and get her idea and feedback on my process with this book. So to be able to have that was really great. And both of my parents have been huge animal lovers, and you know, my dad and my mom really always taught us kids at a very young age that being around animals was such an incredible gift. and to be able to learn about responsibility at a really young age was really important, and also to learn about unconditional love and compassion at a young age. And both my parents raised me to be aware of the fact that you're on this earth to make a difference and to be able to figure out how you're going to do that. And that's what I really wanted to do with this book, is to hopefully make a difference in the lives of pets and to be able to give them a second chance at life and at love, and do that in a way that I think is, fun and exciting for children. So I've learned that both of those different amazing traits from both of my parents.
So when Maverick meets the Terminator, how did it go?
He was really actually scared when he first met my dad, I think just because of his overall size. He was more nervous to meet him, but I understand that obviously just because he's a bigger guy. So he was nervous in the beginning, but then my dad fed him a ton of bacon the first time he met him, which is not something that I loved, but he instantly grew a very instant liking to my father. So
they did a little bacon bonding, huh?
They did. They had a great bacon bonding.
So how did your mom spoil Maverick?
My mom has spoiled Maverick from the very beginning. She, when I got Maverick, originally I lived at her house. So I brought Maverick there when he was 2 weeks old, and she's been around him ever since, I got him, and just showered him with love and attention, and continues to do that every time I bring him home.
Well, that's good. Now, I know you have an amazing Twitter and Instagram following, and so I just want to make sure we get those out there for people. She is the author of Maverick and Me, among many things, but I love your website too. So, folks, it's KatherineSchwarzenegger.com, but the Twitter handle is K Schwarzenegger, and then Instagram is, am I right, at Katherine Schwarzenegger, correct?
It's Katherine Schwarzenegger for Instagram, and then it's K Schwarzenegger for Twitter.
Yeah, there's not a lot of competition, I would think. Good thing your brothers and sisters have different first name spellings, because I don't think there's a lot of Schwarzenegger call on. You get an easy email and everything, right?
I have the same email my entire life. It works out well.
All right. And you want to shout out to your other dog who lives with you? Because I'm all about the paw, power of the paw. So who's Maverick's pal?
Oh, my youngest brother, Christopher, has a dog named Champ. So he's living at my mom's house right now because my little brother's in college. And, they play all the time, and they are the bestest of friends.
That's good. So past parting message to the youngest generation, you have a chance with your book, Maverick and Me, and all the things you do all over the country. We got a young generation just ready to be animal activists. Any parting messages for them, Katherine?
Number one, just being aware of animal rescue. It's such an important topic to learn about and to be aware of, and to be able to teach kids that at a really young age is something that I'm really passionate about and really focused on. And I hope kids learn a lot from the book and get excited about the potential dogs or cats that they might rescue.
Well, I thank you very much for being on our show. And at this time, I also want to do a shout out to my producer, Mark Winter. He is the executive producer of Pet Life Radio, the world's #1 pet podcast network. And folks, follow me at ardenmoore.com. And my Facebook page is Arden Moore. So until next time, this is your flea-free host, Arden Moore, delivering just 2 words to all you 2, 3, and 4-leggers out there. Oh, behave.
Coast to coast and around the world, it's Oh Behave with Arden Moore. Find out why cats and dogs do the things they do, and get the latest buzz from wagging tongues and tails in Rin Tin Tinseltown. From famous pet experts and best-selling authors to television and movie stars, you'll get great tail-wagging pet tips and have a fur-flying fun time. All Behave with America's pet edutainer, Arden Moore. Every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.